So let's go to the sandwich guy case. There's no bagel here. Yeah, I'm addicted to bagels. Once they come into my household, it's worse than a bag of chips. They're gone. Even I eat through them. That's why I get no fat green tea. I get those thin bagels, not as much sodium. Make sure the hummus is controlled sodium. Well, if you're a vegetarian, the only way to get back to like Jewish tasting bagels generally is hummus. Take the place of lox, take the place of herring and herring spread. I'm probably in plastic Jews. Lasting herring spread, I loved it. Poor herring, but I ate all those poor herrings. That's poor judgment. But the herrings say I was brainwashed by a planet that should not exist. So, okay, let's go. What's happening in D.C., Washington, D.C.? And maybe you thought that if you got rid of the crime, that they would let you do whatever you wanted, and the case would go your direction. Your direction. I don't know if Trump even thought about it, but right. So we're in Washington D.C., where you're not really liked to begin with, right? And the week of the sandwich guy case, which I told you, assault on federal officer is a tricky case. Change of venue may have worked, but it's still a tricky case, just to let you know, even if you change the venue. And generally, jury selection in that case isn't that complicated. So you can win a drug case because jury selection is complicated. Like the judge isn't going to let you on that little sandwich case. The judge isn't going to let you sit there for a week and go and pick through the jury pool. Right. And you're not going to have like 3 lawyers, for the government and 3 lawyers for the defense, going through the whole thing. Right. But you turned off the SNAP benefits in Washington, D.C. during the sandwich guy case. I don't even know why you shut down. I would have spent the entire, from January 20th until whenever the shutdown was caused, trying to negotiate the complete opposite as president. Now, Schumer, it's not a Schumer shutdown. People go, Schumer shutdown, what's that mean? Who the hell is Schumer anyway? People don't know Schumer anymore. They know Trump. They put Trump in to make sure there was no shutdowns. I'm telling you, that's the reality. You're the CEO now, and you're going, oh, this corporation is screwed up. Don't blame me. They're going to blame you. So every day you stay out there, you're not going to change their opinion. Oh, yeah. You can sit there on the phone with Laura Loomer all day, and she'll tell you how you're doing. You're the strongest, most heroic person, since Reagan, and Eagleman, and everybody else. And of course, they're going to tell you what you want to hear, because why? Keep that money flowing, brother. That's all it is, man. They don't like you enough to tell you the truth, or may not even be intelligent enough to tell you the truth, or really care. It's almost elder abuse. I mean, you want to talk about elder abuse with Biden. Again, I made that thing. Trump's that rich uncle, that loony rich uncle at this point. Again, Trump's biggest problem is he's always been wealthy. So he's aloof and he's only compassionate to a certain degree. He can't see the larger picture. You can't trade. You can't. Was it? You can't cast out Satan with Satan. You can't. You have to see the larger picture. Right. You can't trade one for another. Ah. Well, I mean, there's a lot to it. I mean, I can see some of it. Like, oh, we can save a lot of money on these SNAP benefits, and we could put it somewhere else. Right. It just doesn't pay, and it doesn't pay. Also, I mean, right now, Ace is amazing. You actually strengthen something else beyond anything I've ever seen before, as far as people saying, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $1 sandwich. I'm gonna, with the food pantries, everybody's gonna dump money and food into the food pantries." Right. So it makes you look exceedingly wrong at a minimum. There's no way that anybody's gonna. I can't even see Schumer in there. Where's Schumer? Who is this guy? All you see is Trump golfing, going, "Well, it's a Democrat." And obviously, Trump going to golf is like Trump going to the gym. That's what people do. But again, and people are wired to it. For how many years, Republicans look at Biden? He's on the beach in Delaware. So again, you live by the sword, die by the sword on that kind of thing, because people are in tune to you doing something other than being in your office, being something bad. Instead of just kind of just focusing on something else, such as issues. I don't think I personally don't think that Harris would allow Trump to be put in prison. She may have even actually just pardoned him at a certain point to say, well, the idea was this, and I was probably going to float it. I think that's where I was. Well, I think I may have even said it for the at that point, Trump had paid enough for the common good that she would pardon Trump and say, this is just not where the nation needs to be. We're going to move forward of it. It's we've been stuck in this thing long enough, right? Which is where Trump should have been when he took office, because he'd have done famously, right? Yeah. Well, you could have got rid of some key people. I mean, what's his name? Jack Smith would have stepped down anyway. It doesn't make any sense to stay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna stay and work for Trump, because he's not that lower level employee. I mean, lower level employees can't do that, right? Or generally can't. Right? I mean, now they're kind of wealthy these days. All the bribery going on. I mean, Jack Smith would have obviously moved on, right? Just go. I mean, they owe him anyway. I mean, I don't think he's exceedingly political. Right? He's just an attorney that may be Democrat, I guess. But it's obvious. Again, the idea is, oh, you mean they owe him because he did something? He's part of a machine. You're part of a machine. That's the way it works. Like Bo, even whatever the name is, Bo, he's a judge. Or he's on his way to be a judge. Or I don't know what he made it or not. And he's got a future. He's got to look. He's got to look behind his, over his shoulder to see if they're going to prosecute him for the stuff he did. You can't go after people simply because they were prosecuting you. Well, that's a fantasy that you all have. If you didn't say anything, you could have. But you said the quiet part out loud, and it's really big in that particular group. Well, the judges can't help you. They're going to have to throw out some of those cases. I don't know which ones. Because it's a violation of law. You're allowed to violate the law, but it doesn't mean that you get to continue the fruits of violating law. Right. And in fact, if you violated law knowingly with the intention to violate law, that's not part of your job description. If you violated law because you believed you were doing something altruistic or, beneficial to the nation, that's, there's room in there. Well, they're like I said, before they weren't going to put Trump in prison, and now they're probably not going to retry him for anything, just like Biden. Right? But his people have to worry about it. Well, you fired some of the most strategically nasty people in government. They're already plotting against you. In government, they couldn't do that. You see, you could watch them. And they would know that they were on notice, that they had to perform, and they couldn't go in those directions. Right. Now what do they got to lose? Some FBI agent that you hired to harass them, or you asked to harass, and they come and harass them. They don't care. They got, they probably all got jobs anyway, promised to them. The majority of them, at least. Right. Like Jack Smith, the rest of his life, he's going to work for Cash and Money. Biggest law firm in the world. They don't need to see. Trump don't realize they don't care to be a billionaire as long as they have enough money, more money than God, and that's actually people with $15,000 a year. God says he doesn't make any money because you have discriminations. Everybody discriminates against something, and it blocks God from making any money. At least the people in power. Let's take that back. Right. Satan's very deceptive. He got you all to write God out of the money system. Once upon a time, having more money than God was a common phrase. Oh, he's got more money than God. Just, it meant something. Now it means nothing. It means that you're on SNAP and disability. You got more money than God. No, Satan's very crafty. So the idea is your cases are suffering. Okay, I only brought up that thing. You turned off that's a big one in D.C. You turned off the SNAP money. And convict our person here. No, don't worry, you'll be okay. So go to the food pantry. And again, when we look at Letitia James, and I'm not telling you she's a great person, she's a political person, that's obvious. What she did. But what I'm telling you is that she had a niece that she was taking care of. Trump has to realize that's the real world. So the judge knows, okay, so Letitia James is taking care of her. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but some people consider that the black sheep of the family. It happens. Right. I've alluded to a judge that we used to protect, and they had one son. That was they were a very successful family, and he wasn't a bad person, but he just didn't have the drive everybody else had. But the mother, the judge's wife, really, really watched over him. If I had a mother like that. Then the deep state couldn't have convinced her of anything. Right. See, she knows about that probably. She probably knew that they took him out. Like my mother at a certain point, blamed all of you for what was going on. But again, she lacked consistency. They had her mind twisted too much. Right. So again, there's going to be people, and is it New York or DC where they going to try that one? There are people who are just going to see it that way. She's taking care of the black sheep of the family, and you're going to put the stones to her. And not black sheep. Well, let's say the person that's less fortunate in the family. That's what it looks like. Just telling you how this stuff plays out. And during the whole entire thing, they're trying to block me from saying this. You're insulting judges. During the whole thing. During every case, you're insulting judges. Even Bavino has to be careful. Because I'll shut down your conviction rate. Right. Well, you do it, right? You went there. So then they'll go there. If you didn't go there, then they won't go there. You go, that's wrong. In fact, if you were nice to them, they may actually help your conviction rate. Human nature. Or actually, inhumane nature to a certain degree, but that's where the planet is. Right. Well, the other attorneys are like, yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor. Kiss, 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 kiss. So Blondie's kissing Trump's derriere, and all these other all the attorneys are coming to get that she's trying to go against her client, get their clients, are kissing the judge's ass. Where do you think that's going to go? Right. Well, there's a way to do this. I tried to explain it to you. Driggs even tried to explain it to you. But you can't say, "Oh, that's corrupt. Oh, that's unfair." You can't. You paid yourself the victim, and it worked to get elected. But once you're in there, they don't see you the victim, especially when you went the direction you all went. Right. Do you know how many family members would vote against you because you fired a government employee? Did you ever calculate? Did you try to poll that? Try to figure that out? In fact, they voted for you. A lot of these government employees like, oh my God, I voted for the guy who fired me. Well, the economy, as I told you, is a many-faceted thing. So you see the government spending money, and you see some inflation. Okay, I believe some of it was greed. Based upon seeing what I saw on corporate profits, I believe it was greed. I believe they could have helped out better. And of course, they don't want to. They want a Republican there, that kind of thing. They don't want to be taxed. But at this point, you're all good. Trump, your man, screwed it up, and his people screwed it up. I'm not going to say it's only Trump. I believe it's his people more than it is he. If he explained it to Trump, he may actually go in a different direction. Right. Well, you're going to get that tax. I'm telling you. It's a sure thing now. Why do you think they went with Trump? They didn't want to pay that, whatever it was, 30%. I don't 30% of $1 trillion a year. New York City will probably get at least 1% of that. Thanks, Larry. Well, here, let's look at two scenarios. One, I felt that the majority of inflation, if any, if I shopped at Walmart, I didn't see all that much inflation. Right. And I was paid a pretty good price for my apartment. And it's not me. I'm not talking about my situation necessarily, because I still have income. Right. You actually owe me more money, but again, it was bought. On several accounts, you owe me more money. Right. Thank you, So I'm under Biden. I'm gonna say I'm somebody on the economy, and there's inflation, but 95% is covered, right? Especially if I don't eat eggs, like I have to eat eggs, right? Maybe it's a hint, yeah, a hint from God that it might be a sin to eat abortions. Just let the abortions go. Don't eat them. And I was an egg fanatic, man, in my life. I'm such a sinner. I'm like Paul. I killed chickens, and and, well, I ate them at least. I didn't kill them. If I had to kill them, I probably wouldn't eat them. That's really why most people are meat eaters today, because they don't have to kill anything to eat it. If they had to kill it, they'd probably be vegetarians, right? Or at least partial vegetarians. But let's say I'm struggling because a lot of it is people are spending more money than they used to, and they have more credit out there, and they just might need to manage it better. But again, inflation was coming down, and I told Biden to handle it years earlier, and he wouldn't do it because the idea that the Trump people are in the same spot. Well, by the time it's election time, look, we're going to change a little bit, and they're going to love us, and fantasizing. But now 90%, or even let's say it's 80% of the inflation is covered. Now you don't have a job. There's no job, inflation. I think inflation is a little better than no job, which is where they're going to go in their mind. So if somebody had 2 jobs, so I'm looking at 2 jobs, it's horrible, but I'm making it. Now they got 1 job. And there's no inflation, but yet they lost half their income, or a quarter of their income, or a third of their income. Or lower inflation, theoretically. And that's theoretically. Now people can't trust you because you fired everybody that may have been telling the truth. I don't know the truth of the story. But again, these are pitfalls that are in government that if you operate a certain way, you might not have to worry about it. When you fired all those government employees, they may have been fibbing on you. They say, oh, he's horrible president, look at this inflation. But again, I don't get it. I don't believe Harris would have allowed Trump to, I would have hoped she would have ended it before too long. Right. And again, bygones be bygones, and she would have said that and moved forward. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. That would have been my recommendation at that point. Well, but Trump's becoming that same guy, and the system's becoming the same system. If you accept money to allow people to do things, then you're going to get deep state because they got more money than God. They got more money than Trump, actually, when you collectively look at the deep state money. And again, this idea, you're a pedophile. Trump's a pedophile. Mondani's a pedophile. Biden's a pedophile. What do you think they're doing? That's their extortion mechanism, calling everybody a pedophile. Well, they're setting you up so you won't stop them. Right, and there are people selected. Something's reminded me. There are people selected to be pedophiles. Right. So they destroy their minds so they can force them into pedophilia. Well, there they are. There's a pedophile. Well, if it's a Republican operator, it's somebody of color and a liberal. If it's a Democratic Party operator, it's somebody that's a MAGA person or a conservative, and then there's a group of people that you just want to kill because it's a hit contract. You see, the mob is doing the same thing it's always done. Oh, we're sanitation workers. Oh, we're pedophile hunters. But again, we'll just continue going forward, and you'll probably lose every assault on federal officer case. That's a hard case to prosecute, I'm telling you. Just like, resistance without force could be a difficult case, but usually there with other charges, and usually they work a deal, actually. Right. It's a difficult case. It's difficult, very difficult in D.C., very difficult in New York City, very difficult in Chicago, very difficult in L.A., and it's a difficult case in even conservative locations. But if you play it right, it could work. You could get those convictions, but again, you're not concerned with it, I guess, which is weird. Well, you're still allowed to keep a file on that person and go, oh, keeping files. Well, if somebody assaults, without force, with force, whatever you see, and impedes, you're allowed to keep a running investigation of that person until something proves it otherwise. So you're allowed. The judge saying that you can't bring them in for 24 hours is bullshit. Just because you didn't, what the judges are going on is you didn't charge them, therefore. You can say it took us 24 hours to figure out we weren't going to charge. You just bring it up to the judge. Judge, you have people in custody for a year and a half, and then you drop the charges. So again, see, it's a disconnect. So don't talk about us. Look at what you and your people do. Maybe even 2 years. Sometimes it's 2 years. Agreed. We're just, we're sitting here wondering, are we going to get this conviction, or are we hated so much that we're not? I mean, tell them the truth. Are we so hated that we're not going to get the conviction? So we decide to, just check the person out, make sure there's no other wants and warrants beyond, what we initially see in the computer. Make sure that they don't tie into another case somewhere. And then when we deem it safe, we let them, we put them back on the street, and we continue to monitor this, because if the criminal conspiracy picks up, then we'll pick them up again, and we have this evidence, right? And plus, yeah, a little bit of punitive activity for committing a felony. I mean, that's the way it is. Maybe you can't tell them that, but right. Well, because the judge has the same system, right? 100%. Hold him in contempt of operations. Well, they could be charged, but you did him a favor. You didn't charge him. You did yourself a favor because maybe you don't think it's a good good enough case to. And again, there's also the number of cases that you already have on the docket. Do you want to junk up the docket with these additional cases when they're smaller cases, and then you just wait, you monitor to see if there's a bigger case there. But we had to bring him in because he did commit a felony. Had to bring her in because she did commit a felony. Right. I'll tell you, the woman that was doxing, she committed a felony before whatever that is happened. But again, make sure your people are clean. Don't go in there cocky and then you have a bunch of dirt. Right. Well, the judge isn't running for office. And as far as impeaching a judge, unless there's some serious misconduct, I wouldn't go there. Comes around, goes around. And it's going around. Right. I'm just telling you, your cases are exactly the life you live. Don't act, oh my God, a judge does this, a judge is this way or that way. You're that way. Why wouldn't a judge be that way? They were born rich, you were born rich. Not all of them, but you have the same aloof mindset. Again, I think the mafia said it the best. Curse me, curse you. But they use the F term. F me, F you. That's what's going on. Right. Which may have been put in there by organized crime that took over the government. Right. So again, your case is larger. What you're saying against the judges does affect your cases. Not every judge, but enough. Well, I can't figure out if Ketanji Brown's just this neutral person that's being, doing the correct thing when she would want the other side done, or she's just doing Trump. Yeah, don't pay the money. I'll leave with that. Stay peaceful, praise God, and all to do, praise God.